What happened when your gut told you this guy is bad news? My sister got engaged after dating a guy for just 3 months. She brought him to our family dinner to introduce everyone. The moment he walked in, something felt wrong. He was charming with my parents, complimenting my mom's cooking, asking my dad about his job. Perfect on paper. But I noticed how his smile never reached his eyes, how he'd check his phone every time my sister wasn't looking. My sister had always been careful with relationships. She never rushed things before. This sudden engagement seemed completely out of character. When I pulled her aside to ask if she was sure about him, she got defensive, said I was ruining her happiness, and couldn't stand seeing her with someone. I tried talking to our parents, but they thought he was wonderful, successful job, well-spoken, came from a good family. I was the only one with doubts. 2 weeks before the wedding, I visited her apartment unannounced. I needed to make one last attempt to talk to her. When I knocked, her fiancé opened the door, clearly annoyed to see me. My sister wasn't home. I noticed her laptop open on the coffee table. He excused himself to take a call in the bedroom, and something made me look at her screen. She'd been checking her bank account. The balance was nearly zero. My sister had saved almost $90,000 for her dream house. Money our grandparents had left her, all gone except for $427. When he returned, I casually asked how wedding planning was going. He mentioned they'd put deposits down for the venue, catering, and honeymoon, all paid from her account, not his. I left feeling sick, but still had no proof he was doing anything wrong. Maybe they'd decided to use her savings for the wedding. Maybe I really was being paranoid. I couldn't shake the feeling something was seriously wrong. Against my better judgment, I called the police non-emergency line. I felt ridiculous explaining that I just had a bad feeling about my sister's fiancé. The officer was surprisingly patient, took down his name and details, but warned there wasn't much they could do without evidence. 3 days later, 2 detectives showed up at my door. They had questions about my sister's fiancé. I told them everything I knew, including my concerns about her money. The next morning, they arrested him at my sister's apartment. Turns out he was wanted in 4 states for romance fraud. He'd married 3 other women, emptied their accounts, and disappeared right after the honeymoons. My sister was devastated. The money was never recovered. The police said this happens more than people realize, and most victims never get their savings back. She still hasn't forgiven herself for not seeing through him. The wedding venue kept their deposit. She had to move back in with our parents for a year. But sometimes when we're having coffee, she'll look at me and say, "How did you know from the first minute? I lived with him and never saw it." I honestly don't have an answer. I just knew.